in sport, the reason why you play it, and in particular with our footy club, the reason why we watch it, one of the reasons why we watch it, is because we obviously love the game, we love our club, we have our affinity. And then every year there's just certain games that it's all about 4 points. It's all the same. Doesn't matter if you play Collingwood or the Gold Coast Suns, you're still playing for 4 points. But it's just something about this, and I love Collingwood as a team in terms of I love their players. I love Scott Pendlebury, Taylor Adams, Maynard. I actually really enjoy watching them because I love the sport and I think they're superstar players. And I've also spoken a little bit about how maybe Essendon's the biggest rival and I hate them more than any other club. And in part, that's kind of true. And I think it's got something to do with the fact that, we've been so poor for so long. And Collingwood have been pretty good. They've made a grand final twice in my life, or 3 times in my lifetime, lost all of them as they do. And, they've been a good side. So there's that respect factor. And Essendon haven't done that. But, talking to Paul Barbaza on Monday night and him talking about, when he was 8 years old and Collingwood supporters would pull the beanie off his head and light it on fire in front of him, spit on him and do things like that. And it sparked something inside again, because part of my responsibility, and this is not me telling you what you need to do as a supporter, this is what I felt. Part of that said to me, fuck, we need to carry on the tradition. That's what this generation is. And I know we're a next generation. I know we're new. I know it's not old Carlton. But this football club, the foundational principles of the successful, mighty Carlton Football Club were based around that fucking rivalry. And it was a good reminder, a timely reminder, what a fucking shit football club Collingwood is. What a fucking shithouse, Mickey Mouse, scumbag football club that club is. I hate Collingwood. I haven't forgotten. Yeah? They've had the wood over us. We haven't been able to bark at them. We haven't really had that many opportunities. I remember that dog, Nick Maxwell, hitting Murphy in the face, knocking him out. I remember the brawls. I remember round 3, 2012, when we beat him by 60. Mark Murphy has 35 and 3 goals and gives the cheer squad the finger and gets a $900 fine for it, And I remember that because I remember how important it was to beat Collingwood. And for the first time with this group, I genuinely believe, I wouldn't be shocked if we beat them. I actually think we will beat them. I think they can smell it. I speak to supporters. I can smell it in them. They got injuries. Fuck your injuries, yeah? Kerno, Cruiser, Newman, Marchbank, the list goes on. We've got them too. From our best 22, right? And I cannot wait for this Sunday. What an opportunity. What an opportunity for this group to genuinely, first of all, get above the ledger, go to 7-6, after a 9-day break. Announce to the competition, hey, we're actually in the hunt for finals now. And what a game to do it against that fucking filthy football club, And I've got family. I've got family that's not blood that follow this club. The Williamson family is so close to my heart, And when they lost that grand final, I felt bad because they said, I can't believe you rubbed it in. That was the worst day of my life and you rubbed it in. And the human side of me to this day still feels pretty bad about it, and I apologised. But sucked in. You go for Collingwood. That was your choice. I fucking love that grand final. I yearn for the day that we have a chance to beat Collingwood by a point in a granny. Yearn for it. Yeah? So let's not forget why we hate Collingwood. Yeah? Let's not forget it. Because on game day, on Sunday, as much as I love Pendlebury, fuck him. As much as I love how hard and intense Taylor Adams is, fuck him. Yeah, because that's what I would expect from them. I want them to bring their best. I want their supporters to say the same thing about us. I don't give a shit who's in or out for them. I don't care. And it's really sparked me. I'm up and about this week. I really think we can beat them this week, and sorry to go away from the practicality of the channel that I've always tried to carry through, but there's something in my soul, and I can't go to games, and it's frustrating, This whole season has been frustrating, and I just hope we can get that job done this Sunday. One thing about the Pies, I think from what I've watched, the formula, yeah, they do have some outs, and it's hurt their system. I mean, they still have a really good system. They're well coached. They've played off in the biggest games there are to play. They've got that experience, and I don't know if we're going to have to be able to play that composed game style that we did against the Gold Coast Suns against the Pies, because I know they'll bring it. But if you can force the Pies into handballing a bit more, I think you can get them. I think that's where you can make them a little unstuck. Force them to kick the ball long, not short. They do have that kicking game when they're up and about. But they let teams in. And goodness me, we have to be kicking straight this week. We get opportunities this week. We have to take them. You look back to 2019. Let me tell you a story about that game. So I was in Egypt the day before the game, coming back into Israel, got stuck at the border on a Friday, which in Israel was the day before Shabbat. So 3 p.m. was the last bus to get from the most southern part of Israel in Eilat all the way to Tel Aviv, right? And I couldn't get through the border because I had trouble going to and fro Israel. I have an Iranian surname. I have an Australian passport. It just brings up red flags in the system. And they made me wait for 2 hours. They waited until after 3 o'clock to give me back my passport. And I got stuck in Eilat and had to watch the game from a friend's mum's house who I never met in my life. She barely spoke English. Had to watch that game at 5:30 in the morning on a random couch in Eilat. It was fascinating. But anyway, I still remember Cripps kicking that goal, and I remember the emotion of that moment. Goodness me. And then the mighty Collingwood Football Club, that's what they are. They're a good team. They put us away, kicked 4 or 5 in a row, ran away with it. I can't help but feel there's a little bit in that group this year that says, hey boys, we had them. And I'm sure they won't let that opportunity slip again, because they know how much it means. I back those boys to know when they come into the football club, they're taught the principles of the Carlton Football Club. We beat Collingwood and we beat Essendon. We hate them both. And if we get an opportunity to put the foot on the throat against a wounded Collingwood, I just hope we take it. I really do. So I think that's the formula. Pressure. Force them to use that overhand ball style that they don't like to use. I believe our defenders are going to give their forwards a lot of trouble. I think their defenders are great. I think, Moore, Maynard, Crisp, all of them. Obviously, Jeremy Howe's not in there. He's a real anchor for them. But I think we've got the height to match it with them. And when you look at Fisher, Martin, Betts, Cunningham might play this week. Gibbons will sort of rotate there as well. There's a lot of some really crafty players there to give him some matchup nightmares. And, oh my God, the lead guys, I can feel it. I can feel it. We spoke on the show. We asked what everybody wanted from the next 5 weeks, and everyone sort of said 3 wins minimum. We get this one this week, and we're ahead of that ledger, because it's one of those games we're not favoured to win. And so I can't wait, and it's a big opportunity for the Queensland faithful. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's never happened before, and I'm pretty sure it'll never happen again. Carlton Collingwood in Queensland at the Gabba for points, in the season. Like, are you mad? What an opportunity. If you are from Queensland, drop a comment. Let us know if you've got your tickets, because they are some of the best atmospheres to be at, especially when we take it to them. And we haven't done it a lot over the last, decade. And so I'm excited for those fans. I'm living vicariously through you. And I just hope you enjoy yourselves and just bring the noise, because I think it's going to be it's going to be on for young and old. I'd love a bit of a biffo. I'll probably punch myself in the face if I see, Taylor Adams and Cripps go at it again. And there's just a bit of that in me this week. I can't wait. I'm so excited. In terms of changes, what do we know? We know that Cunningham is fit and available. We know that Kennedy is fit and available. I don't believe Marchbank is available because he missed that scratch match last week with some leg soreness. We know that Mitch is not available and he's going to be back for the GWS game, according to Andrew Russell. And so if there was to be a change, and I don't mind Cottrell staying in because I listened to Heath Buck talk about him and how Walsh and Cottrell on the wing is a really good one for us because they're elite runners. I'm mindful of the fact of, hey, it's cutthroat, best 22, must-win game against that shit stain of a club. So maybe you bring in Cunningham for Cottrell, but he wasn't really playing that well before he got injured. Maybe Kennedy's the one because I think his marking ability can really hurt Collingwood. Another presence around the ground or up forward. So if there was going to be a change, I'd be looking at bringing Kennedy in for Cottrell, but I'd be happy with no changes. Whatever Teague decides, I back him in because his selection this year, his principles this year have been made with a purpose, and I trust in what he's doing. So that's how I feel. But what about you guys? Sorry to get all rolled up, but fuck, this means a lot. This is a massive opportunity, and how grateful I am to have, round 14, and we're in the hunt. We're right there. We're a game out of the 8 after 13 rounds. This is what we want. This is where we want to be. So embrace it. Enjoy it right now. Stop trying to retire our players. We're in the hunt now. 2020, we're in the hunt. Don't look too far ahead. Look to right now. We're going to win this game right now. We need to pick our best 22. So let me know in the comments below. Are you making any changes? What do you feel about the game this week? And if you have a Carlton Collingwood story about the rivalry, I really want to put a compilation together and I guess through the comments, tell me a story, give me something to read just to fire me up a little bit more. And I think everyone else will sort of feed off that as well. If you've got a story, put some detail in it, send it through to me. If you've got a lengthy one, you want to email it to me, feel free. I really want to showcase this rivalry because this is an important part of our football club, this rivalry. And this is an important part of sport. This is what makes sport great. And this is the biggest rivalry in Australian sport. Fuck your fucking Melbourne Derby in the A-League and that Mickey Mouse Soccer League. This is the biggest rivalry in Australia. So, can't wait for Sunday. Enjoy your week. Enjoy the build-up. And fuck Collingwood. Go the Mighty Blues.